So today I'm working on a 2014 Volkswagen Jetta. The issue is a plugged heater core. The heater core got plugged on this one because the owner mixed two different kinds of antifreeze. When you buy a Volkswagen product, it will come with a red antifreeze. If you have green antifreeze sitting in your garage and you're just naturally top it off with that, you cause a great deal of havoc. These have a 4-chamber heater core, so they plug up really easy. Sometimes you can get away with it in other products, but you just want to remember never to mix the 2 or 3 different kinds of antifreeze. Maybe there's even 4. So that's what caused that. Your heater core, and how to diagnose the heater core is bad is by touching the 2 heater core lines on the back of the motor. They're directly over this area here. You have your oil cap to put oil in. It's directly behind that on the Jetta. This is an S model. So anyhow, you touch the heater lines, they're warm, but you have nothing but cold air blowing on the inside of your vehicle. Okay, so what we need to do now is to flush the system before you change it. A lot of people will just get right into her, drain her out, and not care about that slime buildup. That is going to be all through the radiator. It's going to be all through your coolant ports of your engine, and of course into that heater core. So let's flush this system. And how do you do that? You can buy antifreeze flush chemical, or you can, if you want to be cheap about it, I recommend you use a distilled water, something that will not harden. And that's another problem that people do, is they mix their own antifreeze. They'll buy straight antifreeze and add their own water to it, make a 50-50 mix. That water will probably have minerals in it if you're just taking it out of your tap. Don't use tap water on these, on any vehicle. Distilled, or really at least filtered water, like a Braun filter or a Brita filter. That will save you a little bit of aggravation, but I just recommend that you buy pre-mixed 50-50. Alright, so we're going to get right to it. I've already unplugged my hose off the radiator. I've already flushed it twice now. I'm going to flush it 3 times just to make me feel a little bit better. Each time I flush it, I do see more color coming out. You're going to want to fill up everything. Put your hose back on, your drain. That's a big hose on the bottom of the radiator. You're going to want to put that back on, fill it up. You can leave the cap off. Fill it up with your distilled water, and then just flush it. Let it run for a minute, and then shut it off, drain that out, and repeat. Do it 3 times. Get it all clean, okay? And then as you drain this system out and leave it drained off, you unhook your 2 coolant lines that go to your heater core. That will save you aggravation inside the car, because when you take the heater core out, you're going to get some drippage, and there's going to be stuff stuck in that radiator, in that heater core. So you want to keep it as clean and non-toxic inside your car as possible, because antifreeze is deadly. Okay, here we go. We're going to get right to it. Okay, so we're at the car. We're at the dash. Here is where your shifter is. Underneath that, this lower piece of plastic, vinyl, whatever it is, needs to come out. There's a torque head screw that you use a torque head screwdriver to get that out. I just did that. So now I'm just going to unsnap it from its place, pull it straight down. It's not that hard to do. If you start really ripping and tearing things, you know you're going to break something. Just calm down and take a deep breath and try it again. But it should really come out, if you can see in here, this easy, after you take your torque head screw out of this slot. Okay, and now if you look down in, and I'll reposition the camera, but over in here you'll see 2 aluminum ports with the heater core line in it. That's your heater core. You unhook your lines, let them drain out. So we don't want toxic chemicals pouring through your car, so it's hard to breathe and bad for you. It's very, very bad. Antifreeze can kill any animal, okay? So you don't want to ingest it. So let's just make sure we be safe. Put some mats down. I don't care if you don't have mats, if you don't have anything to collect, use paper towels, use your old towels. use something to collect that antifreeze and then get it out as quickly as you can, okay? It's that dangerous. I just want to make sure you know that you're dealing with some dangerous, toxic stuff, antifreezes. Okay. So if you look right here, this hose clamp has to come off. There's one up on top. Just take this off. I've already loosened it. That's an Allen wrench. Then you got 4 of these bolts that have to come off. Once you take these off, this shield will come out. You unhook your lines, get a collection pot to even a jar to get the residual antifreeze out. You're going to have stuff spilling. Get ready to tuck towels in underneath here. And then you pull this whole unit out. It comes straight out just like that after you unhook everything. It's very simple. Don't tug and tear. And try to save it. Take a look at it. There's no core exchange on these. It's just aluminum. But you can take a look inside and see what it looks like, what kind of coagulation went on with the mix of antifreeze. Okay, so this last piece comes out after you disconnect these 2 heater lines, drain out everything. I just put a cloth in there to help capture anything dripping out. Now this unit will slide right out, but before I jump the gun and show you, there was 4 bolts to come off this shield, and to take that off, I actually had to take this heater unit toward your feet off, and it just comes off with 2 Torx head screws, one here and one in this hole right there, if you can see in the light. It's pretty poor lighting. I apologize. Okay, so that's that. This thing had to come off just to get the last top bolt out, and then this whole unit will slide out. So after some poking and prodding, here is the end result. This is the bad, which looks good, heater core. So now we're going to reverse our process and put it back together. Alright, so I've been schooled here. This is the original heater core out of the 2014 Jetta. You can see the slime buildup from mixing. You can see the coagulation just right inside there. It's a nasty looking radiator or heater core. So she is plugged up. They say you can't flush them. It's not worth trying, so chuck it and buy a new one. So we bought a new one. This is the aftermarket price of $115 at your local aftermarket place. I won't say O'Reilly's name, but that's where it was bought. And nothing against this. It's just as nice as that. But the difference is in the hardware. Let's look at the O-ring gasket. There is a difference in the girth of the O-ring gaskets. You can see that, right? There is a difference in the hose clamps. Let's take a look at these hose clamps. See the difference in size and girth? Size and girth there too. So the reason being, this flange is different size than this flange. So they make it to fit these flanges, which is okay, but if you read the reviews, nobody has any success, especially on the top one, getting that to not leak. It's like impossible. So I really tried. I think I'm a fairly decent mechanic, and I really tried hard to not get it to leak, and I couldn't get it to stop leaking either. So there's something wrong with buying the aftermarket. So don't waste your time. I'm sorry, O'Reilly's, but this is a big fail. I went to Volkswagen, went right to the dealer. This price is $115. This price is $215. The difference is, again, your hardware, and you get your heater core lines. These lines are good in the car that I have, so I'll have some spares to back up. I'm going to try to flush this out, and this will be a backup heater core if it happens again. Okay. So we have nice warm heat in all the vents. It was a total success, total time. Let's give it an hour and a half. You can do this. The biggest thing that I learned was to buy the actual heater core from Volkswagen rather than from an off-brand, because you'll have a hard time fitting those hose clamps together. Alright, total success. I saved over $1,000 because I was going to take it to a dealer. I did shop around just again before I finish out this video, and you can have this particular car done for approximately $600. So I don't know why they were $1,000 more, but it cost me $215 with the right heater core. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope this helps.